Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your listening and viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can address and discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships, whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind. God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you will save money at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, we thank you for your support and for your commitment. And those of you who use the QR code or the link provided on Facebook and YouTube, we thank all of you for your continued support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So I want to remind all of our listeners and viewers, first of all, we are Facebook Live, we are YouTube Live, we are we are YouTube Live at Daily Divine Direction, and we want you to continue staying connected with us and tuned in with us on our internet radio station, WKAPFaith.com. It is WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio, where we play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week that will inspire you, will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you to become the best version of ourselves that we can possibly become. So I want to begin by saying Happy New Year to all. And I want to just say that we are now have entered into a new year that we really are going to work on being the best version of all of ourselves that we can possibly become. Let's make certain that we maximize our success. Let's enter into the fullness of God this year. If you feel that you've been lagging behind, because I've heard this from some of our listeners and viewers, and you say you want to level up. So I'm getting a lot of the modern terms that are being used. I want to say to all of us, we have the ability to do just that. God has given us the power within us to do just that, to go to the next level. So every one of us, as we start this year, let's make certain that by the end of this year, we are certainly better versions of ourselves than we are entering into this new year. So I'm going to say to all of our listeners and viewers also, I want you to stay tuned in during this first quarter. I'm making the announcement today, but during this first quarter, we're going to begin having the opportunity for you to actually, for everyone, wherever you are across the U.S. and wherever you are around the globe, to have the opportunity to come in on the broadcast through our new Zoom dynamics. You'll be able to do that. So we're going to be working on getting that finalized. It will occur at some point we'll begin the process during the first quarter, but certainly by April 1st, you will be able to come in and join us for the broadcast and discuss whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. So I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you're age 28 and you say you get a lot of attention from men. However, you say all the men you meet want to settle down while all you really want to do is hang out and have fun. So let me first of all say this to you. And I know you're tuned in today, so I'm going to say this to you, and thank you for tuning in. You're relatively new to the broadcast, but you've heard me make some comments, and you say you really just want to have fun. It's cool right now at 28. You know, there's a time limit on cool and fine and you know, all the attention you're getting from men now is you're at that prime period of your life. So think about this. It really starts at 29. I'm gonna tell you this, and the reason I say this. Well, for some people 28. Think about it in these terms. So I often share with everyone these 7-year cycles of life. Graduate from college at 21, about 28, you're going to start to mature in the finest points of your life. This is when you begin that cycle of, you know, you're primed to have children, you are still looking your best, your body is fully matured. If you graduate at 22, it's about you're going to hit that stride at about 29. But men start paying attention to you not because you're fine and they want to hang out with you because you're a good time. They start looking at you for the possibility of having children and creating a family. I use the term legacy because that's really what we have to do a better job at establishing in our culture. So think about it in these terms. You want to still have fun, but finding fun won't last. And then when you stop having fun, so think about it. Your frame of mind, again, the 7-year cycle, your frame of mind is you're 28. You're not going to start thinking about settling down until you're 35. You figure you get married at 35, you start having children, you can have maybe 2 children, it's not too late. That's kind of what you're thinking right now. When you get 35, you're going to be pretty much in your own thought process, in your own head. Set in your ways is what they call it in my generation. You're going to be set in your ways, and you're going to be harder for someone to deal with who then wants to take you as a wife. So men are looking at you now and saying, okay, I could settle down with her. She's attractive, she's vibrant, she's, you know, those are all the things they're thinking about settling down, and you're thinking about having fun. You still want to be the good time girl. And that's not practical life. Your goal now is to, you know, you could be getting attention from the wrong type of men. Men who really don't, all they care about is having fun with you for the next 7 years. They'll come in and out of your life over the next 7 years until you're 35, and then you're going to be you'll be a little more difficult to deal with. You know, 35, no children. Men are going to, first of all, I'm going to keep it real with you. They're going to start wondering what's wrong with you. And when I'm using that for shock value. It's not because there's anything wrong with you, but it's just that you'll be doing this for so long that you become set in your ways or difficult to deal with because you've got your own idea of what life is going to be. And then you'll want someone else to come in and be part of that. That's going to be difficult because you're bringing another person into the equation at a later point in life. And then At 35, you're not going to be wanting to date men who are 25 because they've got a different frame of mind. And if you then are going to try and date men who are ready to settle down, who are, at that point in life, there's another factor there, because the first question they're going to ask themselves is, what's the problem that at 35 you're still on the market, no children? There's a lot of dynamics going on there. So I'm going to say to you, and this will take me into another communication later, but here's the reality. You've got to set aside what you want and what you perceive to be fun, and really examine. The Bible says, let a man or woman examine themselves, and really examine what's important at this point. You're 28 now. It's not old. It's still young. You and hopefully a significant other eventually, and a husband eventually, will be able to build a life together. You'll be able to enjoy life together. But you're not going to have the same type of fun that you were having in your early to mid-20s. Because at some point, we've got to move forward. So this is really about the time. You say you want to hang out and have fun, that's a choice. But you have to realize that there's always consequences to the power of our choices. You want to hang out and have fun, you've got to decide, what does that not only look like for you, but what does that look like for you interacting with others? There's a lot of things you can do to have what you perceive to be fun, but it's never going to materialize into something or manifest itself into something that is going to allow you to build, first of all, a great quality of life or a relationship that is sustainable. You'll have fun, or what you perceive to be fun, with other people who perceive that that's what fun is really about. That's what life is really about, is having fun. But that's not going to lead to a great quality of life. It is going to be non-productive, wasteful, and you really gotta decide at some point it's time to start building for the future. And so, having said that, you got to give the men that are giving you some attention, give them an opportunity to see exactly where they are at this point, what life is going to look like with them, and make certain, as I should just start off the year with this, let's get back to the basics of what we've been talking about, and that is, dating should be done with a purpose in mind. Everything in life should have a purpose. Dating's no different. So, as I've said throughout the year, a revelation from God. If you're going to date, if you feel you're prepared right now to date, it should be with someone first and foremost who has a relationship with the Lord. And you've got to find out what that looks like. So that means these men that are giving you attention, find out by asking them to take you to church with them. First and foremost, they should take you to church and out to lunch. Do that 3 times for 3 consecutive Sundays. By the end of that, you will know what you want to do by the 4th week. Is this a relationship that I should consider entertaining, or if you're a man, pursuing, or should I wait for another? We are waiting for Christ to return. Well, it's no different in relationships. You should wait for the person that God sends. And that person will have a relationship with the Lord. That person will have a vision for their life that can incorporate your vision for life together, because you may have some good points also. They should be able to incorporate together, walk together in agreement, be equally yoked, begin to build a great quality of life. We've got to set aside what we want for what God wants for our lives. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. At T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. And this segment is also brought to you by PorscheAmerica.com. If you are in the market for a new vehicle, one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com. You will have the opportunity to virtually build out the type of Porsche you might desire to own. And if you're in our area, you can go to PorscheDelaware.com, ask to speak to Mike Didio, General Manager of PorscheDelaware.com. He will make certain that someone assists you in selecting the Porsche you desire to own. And if you're in our area and you already own a Porsche, one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to PorscheDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Adams, who is the service manager. He will make certain that an appointment is scheduled for you. They will drop off a loaner vehicle at your home or office, pick up your vehicle, and return your vehicle to you when service has been completed at PorscheDelaware.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are age 42, single, no children, and spent your entire life getting established in your career. Okay, congratulations. Now you want to get married and realize your selection of men are limited. Okay, so here's what you need to know. The selection of men are limited. However, they do exist. Okay, so you've got to position yourself. You said in your communication, and you talked about this, you don't want to live out the rest of your life alone. You know you're not going to have children, but you don't want to live out your life alone. And you feel like you poured your life into your career. And that's, congratulations. You created a successful career. Now you have to focus on your personal life. So you know what you're doing in your careers. You're successful in your career. You want to continue to maximize that success. But, however, you say now you want to get married. That involves the dating process, not the dating game, the dating process. So you're going to be productive in this. So you heard what I said to the previous listener. And even though you feel the selection of men are limited, and this is something that can be a takeaway for our previous listener and viewer. Yes, the selection becomes more limited. The selection does exist though. And what that means is that the selection exists for men who now will take an interest in someone who is career-minded, settled, stable, and even though you don't have children, there are things you can do to pour into the lives of other young people. So that's not a problem, but you have to find someone who's willing to, you don't have to find someone has to find you who's willing to accept that, as opposed to building a legacy within their home, within the home that the two of you create together. So it's limited, but it exists. And so what I will say is this. most of the men, and I've heard this from other listeners and viewers, most of the men in your age group are married and settled with children. Get it? There are also some men who are divorced, who may have children, but you have to be open to that. They may have children, but they're divorced now, so they're available. Now, I get it. You struggle with, are you going to be an outsider if you get involved with someone who's married, who's divorced and has children? No, if he's competent, he's capable of blending that together. But you have to be open to that. If you're not open to that, you may find someone who's divorced who doesn't have children. Or let me rephrase that once again. Someone may find you who's divorced who doesn't have children, who may have been hoping to have children, but however, has decided that's not the first priority. You know, it's not good for man to be alone. He may understand that. So there's another opportunity. Limited, but they exist. And then there's always the possibility that you're going to date someone who, like you, has been single. Those are even more limited. Single, never been married, no children. Those are even more limited. So I'm going to tell you what came over my spirit as I was reading your communication. Your sweet spot. Now that doesn't mean rule anyone out who is single and has no children. But you also have to understand if they're in your age group and single and have no children, they would have been known in our generation, they would have been known as confirmed bachelors, people who only are interested in living their life by themselves. They want to date occasionally, but they're not interested in getting married. You want to get married. So your sweet spot is going to be someone who is divorced and may or may not have children. Your sweet spot could be also someone who's divorced who has adult children. So what I'm showing you is there are options out there. You just have to get in, you have to position yourself to make yourself available to those type of people. Now, you'll meet certain types of people at certain places. You know, men who are divorced who have adult children are generally active in some way in their lives with either, and I'll just walk through the scenarios, some type of athletic activity, whether it's running, whether it's tennis, whether it's golf. Men who are divorced with adult children, they may be working out. There's something that they're probably doing they're active. Men who are divorced still with dependent children, they're going to be more in environments where they can relax while their children are enjoying themselves. You just have to position yourself in the right place to be found by someone who fits within that sweet spot. You know, whether you join the gym, whether you take up tennis, whatever it might be, you've got to position yourself. You positioned yourself well for your career, you can position yourself well for a relationship also. But first and foremost, and so I'm going to go here with this. Men who have dependent children, you're generally going to find that they've got hopefully some type of relationship with the Lord. Men who are divorced with adult children, you will usually find out they do have some type of relationship with the Lord. And that's really all you need, is someone who has a relationship with the Lord. Because their relationship with the Lord will allow them to embrace whatever God has in store for them. Whatever they find, they will understand that it's what God has for them. Because he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor of the Lord. They'll understand that. So you gotta stop beating yourself up about spending all your time on your career to date, because you were doing that for a purpose. Now you just gotta, you've got to find your sweet spot and rest in that. And make yourself available to those who might have interest. Even though the selection process of men is limited, it does exist. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need. And if you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And the White Company, located in London, the UK, they also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at the retail store. They have everything you could possibly need. Home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your husband does not like to spend money. He believes in saving and preparing for your retirement. And you say you both are too young for that. You want to live and enjoy life now. And I'm going to respond by saying this. Listen, your husband is being fiscally responsible. That's a good thing. What he's asking you to do is to enjoy life with him by taking vacation. What happened to the days when people would save and take their vacation over a period of time, as opposed to, and I'm not suggesting that you can't take a trip on the weekend, a road trip, or even go someplace that's relatively close by flight. You know, a couple hours is fine for a weekend, you know, or a long weekend. Take a couple of your vacation days, do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I'm not suggesting that you can't do that. What I am saying to people is, once upon a time, people would schedule their vacations, their vacation days, so that they could be off for a week, and they would save up to take their vacations and really take a nice vacation. Once upon a time, people did that. Now people don't save for vacations, they just take a vacation whenever they want to. Then they deal with the consequences when they return. Now, I've learned over the years that it's probably more, because of careers, it's probably more prudent for people to not take a vacation for a whole week, but take a vacation that maybe runs, watch this, it might run Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You're out of the office for 3 days. Return home on Saturday. You get 4 days. Or you can take them at the beginning of the week and go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, return on Thursday, get in the office on Friday. But you still want to check your email just to make sure you know what's going on. We just got to be more prudent. There's ways to do that. And if you do that, you can use your vacation days throughout the year and still get, when I say that, meaning a couple of trips during the course of the year, and for 4 days at a time. You get your vacations in, but you're not just doing things to be doing things, just to post something on social media. Your husband's trying to build for retirement, for the two of you, for your family, and that's what he wants to accomplish. So don't beat yourself up. Allow him to lead, and to God be the glory. Today's Daily Divine Direction 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com.